Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Jason. Today I'm going to take you through a lower body exercise. We're going to focus more on the hips and just working through the different ranges of motion through the hips. So if you have slidey floors, please feel free to grab onto a blanket or a towel or anything that's going to allow you to slide across the floor. If you don't have slidey floors, you're practicing on say carpet or something, that's okay. You can do this without the prop as well. So what we'll begin is in a tabletop position. And you can kind of take your knees about a hip's distance apart, and we'll just kind of work through the hips. We're going to do like a dog wagging his tail. So just take your hips from one side and then the other. And when you do, you can take your shoulders kind of in the opposite direction, just creating a little bit of length through the side of the body. And just kind of warming up the hips here a little bit. And then from there, we're going to begin by placing our right foot down onto the prop. Now you can slide that right foot up towards the top of the mat a little bit more. I should mention, if you have sensitive knees, you can always roll your mat over to protect that left knee a little bit more. And from here, you're just going to start to push that right leg over towards the side of the mat. Now, keep your left hip stacked over top of that left knee. Good. From there, slide that foot back in. So we're just going to go back and forth through this motion, extending the leg out. Try to keep some grounding down into that leg or into that foot and into the prop. If you don't have a prop, you can just let that foot gently run across the floor. So again, we'll just push that leg out, creating some extension. And then draw it back in with a little bit of flexion. So we'll go back and forth through this motion here, please. If you want to explore pushing that leg out a little bit more, you can. Maybe your hip comes away from that left knee. And then bring it all the way back in, please. But I want this motion to come through the hip, not from the hip shifting from side to side. So even if you do reach that foot out towards the side of the mat, use the foot to bring yourself back into that center position again, please. Good. Again, we'll extend it all the way out. And in. And we'll go one more time out to the side, please. And back in. Beautiful. Now you're going to keep your foot down onto that prop. And this time we're just going to bring that leg all the way out behind us. So you kind of shift over towards the side of the mat so you can extend that leg all the way out. And if you'd like, you can even bring your hips down onto your heel, reaching that leg all the way out behind you. Bring it back up and bring that foot back underneath. If you need to prop up your hands here, please feel free as well, okay? If you have tight hips, such as myself. So again, you can reach it all the way out. If you want to lower the hips down towards the heel, you can. And then slide that foot back up beside you. Again here, please. Good. One more time. And back up. Beautiful. Back in center. All right, now this one you can maybe come up onto your fingertips, or again, if you have any blocks or props to place underneath your hands, you can. This time we're going to push that leg out in front of us. Now go as far as your hamstrings allow. You can have the foot down on the mat, or if you want to lift the toes up towards the ceiling, you can also. And then push down into that heel or that foot and slide it back underneath the knee. We can continue that again, please. Reach it out. Notice you get a bit of extension, length through the hamstrings. If you want to slide it out a little farther, you can as well. And slowly bring it back underneath you. Again, please reach. And in. And we'll go one more time, all the way out. And back in. Beautiful. If you want to take that foot down off the blanket, you can, back into your tabletop position, and just kind of noticing how one side feels compared to the other. It's nice to check in with where you're at. Now we're going to combine those movements all together. So when you're ready, you can place that foot back down onto your prop or just down onto the floor. We'll begin by starting to push that foot out behind us, extending the leg towards the back of the mat, and then reach it all the way out to the side. Bring it forward as much as you can. If you have to bend the knee a little bit, you can as well. And then back in, please. Again, just targeting all those different ranges of motion through the hip. Reaching it out one way and then the other. And then also going the opposite direction. So push that leg out in front of you. Extend it out towards the right. Push it as much as you can. Again, out behind you and back in. Now move as fast as slow as you like, but also maybe play around with the different speeds too, noticing how that activates or engages different muscles. Remember, it's about exploration, not getting to a destination. Good. One more time, please, all the way around. Out to the side. And back through center. Release. Come back into your tabletop position. And you move your body around any which way that you feel. You can take some pressure off your wrist, giving your hands a little shake, moving your arms around. And when we're ready, we can transfer our prop over towards the other side of the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders. Place your foot down onto your prop. Again, keeping it nice and flat. And then extending it all the way out to the side. Again, start by just keeping that right hip over top of that right knee. But try not to roll on the inside edge of that left foot. Try to keep grounding or engagement down through the other edge as well, into the mat or the floor, into your prop. Good, you can slide it back in. And then we'll go again. Back through center. And release. Good. One more time, please. Extend that leg out to the side. And if you want to push it out a little bit farther, you can as well. But let the motion come through the leg, drawing you back up. Good. Let's go one more time. And wonderful. All right, this time we're gonna extend that leg out behind us. Whenever you're ready, start to reach it out. If you want to extend it as far as it'll go, you can. Bending the knee, bring the foot back down onto the floor or up towards the top of the mat, and then gently extending it all the way back out behind you again. Good, and in. Two more times, please, at your own pace. Good. And once more. And back up. Good. Now, just like we did on the other side, this time we're going to bring ourselves forward. So be mindful of the length of your hamstrings here. You don't have to get fully extended. If you want to lift up the toes, you can, or keep the foot on the mat or on the prop. Slide it back in. Now try not to shift the weight back and forth. Again, we want to isolate the movement through the hip joint. So reach it out, and when you bring it in, imagine pushing your hip towards the back of the mat and sliding it back underneath you. The same would go for the other side. Reach. And come in. And again, out. And back up. Good. From here, we're going to combine those together just like we did on the opposite side. When you're ready, reach that leg out behind you. Take it towards the side of the mat. Bring it all the way to the front as much as you can. And then back through, please. Reach. Forward. Down and around. Moving as fast or as slow as you'd like. Again, playing around even with the different speeds. Moving one way and then switching directions whenever you feel like you're ready. Again, just working through that different range of motion. Bringing a little mobility, movement through that hip. Going one more time. Back into your neutral position. You can make your way into your tabletop position again, removing your foot, and then just come down into a seated position. And we'll take our feet to the outside edges of the mat, and your hands can be down behind you. And we'll just end with a few little windshield wipers here, so you can let your knees fall to the side. Try to let the shoulders stay square towards the front of the mat, allowing the knees to feel heavy. Going one way and then the other. Eventually coming back through center. Once you've completed both sides equally, you can just bring the soles of the feet together. You can take your hands down onto your feet if you like, and just let your legs kind of fan out to the side in a bit of a butterfly pattern. Good. If you'd like, you can cross your legs, or you can continue with that motion. I want to thank you so much. I hope your hips feel rejuvenated and energized. Remember, moving just a little bit is better than not moving at all. Movement matters. Thank you. Bye for now.